Hello and welcome to Daily Records. I am Tommy Burton, and today we're going to be talking about a little known album from artist Blondie Chaplin. Blondie Chaplin, this is his self-titled debut album released in 1977 on Asylum Records. So here's a little background on Blondie Chaplin. And a lot of people will know the name Blondie. His name, Terrence William Blondie, is a nickname, Chaplin. He is a singer and guitarist from Durban, South Africa. He had a band there called The Flames, famously enough, in the 60s. And his main claim to fame was that Carl Wilson, well, let me go back a little bit. Also in The Flames was Ricky Fattar. And they were in this band when they were really young. I think Blondie was 13, Ricky was 9. They were kids. And they did this album in South Africa, and the album was called Soulfire. And they did a song on there called For Your Precious Love. It was a #1 hit. A big song for them in South Africa. And Carl Wilson of the Beach Boys heard The Flames while the Beach Boys were on tour. And he signed them to the Brother Records label and produced their first album, or their self-titled album, called The Flame, changed from The Flames. So they became The Flame because there was another group, the famous group that toured and played with James Brown. And so they basically the Flames were a group that was sort of a combination of, the Beach Boys, pop rock, with a little bit of a power pop feel, maybe like Badfinger. And they were the only other band on Brother Records aside from the Beach Boys. And so later on, Chaplin and Ricky Fattar, the drummer, joined the Beach Boys when Dennis Wilson had a hand injury, and he kind of sidelined Dennis, so Dennis kind of became kind of a front man kind of act with the group. This was in the early 70s. And Bruce Johnston had left the band. Bruce famously replaced Brian in the touring version in the late 60s. And so they became full-fledged members and recorded a couple of albums, Holland and Surf's Up. Great Beach Boys albums, very underrated. And Blondie and Ricky contributed a great deal to that. Blondie Chaplin left the group in 1973 after a dispute with the management. Carl and the Passions, So Tough. I think I said Surf's Up, and I got that wrong. It's Carl and the Passions, So Tough, where Blondie sang lead vocals, and Holland. And also the live album, The Beach Boys in Concert. They were featured on that album as well. And so Sail on Sailor is sort of the song with the Beach Boys that Blondie Chaplin was well known for. Now, after he left the Beach Boys, that's when he put out this record on Asylum Records in 1977. He played with Rick Danko on his debut album, and which had a lot of big names on it. Ronnie Wood being one of them, Doug Sound, and Rick Danko's brother Terry was on that album as well. He toured with the David Johansen Group. So Blondie got around. In the late 80s, he toured with the band. He did a lot of Richard Manuel's vocals. And so he was in with those guys. He recorded with Paul Butterfield. He recorded with the Byrds, Gene Clark and Michael Clark, the 20th anniversary of the Byrds, the Tribute Byrds band. Jennifer Warnes, he played with her. Several people. And interestingly enough, he did some time with the Rolling Stones. This guy got around quite a bit as a sideman, and really a good overall utility guy as a singer, as a guitarist. Recently toured with Brian Wilson's touring band. So Blondie is well known amongst musicians. Now this album specifically, I wish I could say that it was something that just would blow you away. It's a pleasant album. The album features Blondie as well as Ricky Fattar. Also on this album, Garth Hudson makes an appearance. Notably, Clyde King singing background vocals. Album was produced by Rob Fraboni. Like I said, as an album, it's okay. It's not gonna burn your needles off by any means, but it's pleasant. And so if you find this out in the wild for a couple of bucks, worth picking up. Fans of Beach Boys and the band and people like that, he's a fantastic singer, a very economical guitarist. Probably lacking in the songwriting department, which he wrote and composed all the songs on this album. So as a writer, he might do better when he's working with better writers. But the self-titled debut album from Blondie Chaplin is today's Daily Record. What do you think? Comment down below, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I love hearing from you guys. It's TommyBurton75. Give that a little follow. Give me a thumbs up. You know the drill. In the meantime, I'll see you all again tomorrow with another Daily Record.